If your first Risograph print came out muddy, misregistered, smudged, or slightly cursed, you did not fail, and your Risograph printer is probably not broken. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 beginner Risograph printing tips that will save you time, save you paper, and help you make prints that actually work with the process instead of fighting against it. So let's get into it. The biggest mindset shift that you can make for a Risograph printing is to not design for perfect precision. It prints one color at a time, and each color goes through the machine separately. Risograph printing is not digital printing. So if your design only works if every single layer lands perfectly, you are setting yourself up for heartbreak. So instead, design your artwork that will still look good if the registration shifts a little bit. So think bold shapes, generous margins, larger text, looser compositions, and remember that Riso is not broken when these little shifts happen. That is part of the process. When you are starting out, do yourself a favor and keep the number of color layers low, 1 or 2 color layers. I know it's tempting to just jump into 3 or 4 or 5 color prints because Risograph inks are so gorgeous and there's so many different colors to choose from, but remember that every extra color means it's another file to prepare, another master, another pass through the machine, more cost and more alignment issues, and more opportunities for confusion and misprints. A 1-color print can look really amazing, and a 2-color print is really a sweet spot for beginners. That's where you can learn about how the overlapping colors work and how to design and organize your print files so you don't completely overwhelm yourself. So for your first project, keep it really simple, and you can always get fancier later. This is where a lot of beginners get confused. In Risograph printing, each ink color needs its own separate file and layer. So if you're printing with fluorescent pink and blue, you're not handing over the printer one image with the pink and blue on the same file. You'll have one layer for the pink and one layer for the blue. So you have to stop thinking this is my final artwork and start thinking, what does each ink layer need to look like? Risograph printers love black and white images because it's very clear to the machine where to drop in color and where not to drop in color. And Riso hates grayscale because grays are really confusing to it. So if your artwork has tonal variation, you need to translate those grays into something that the machine can understand. So usually this means bitmaps and halftones. And once you understand that, file prep gets a lot less mysterious. One of the most common beginner mistakes is using way too much solid ink coverage because big blocks of 100% black ink might look amazing in theory, but in practice, they can smudge, they can offset onto other sheets, and they can make the print feel muddy. I have this print here, and in my first edition, I printed the black in the sky with 100% black ink, which I thought would look really awesome. But once I started printing it, I realized that the ink was getting too thick and the oversaturation of the black was making the artwork feel too heavy. So in my next edition, I used 70% black, and it didn't have the same drying issues, it wasn't offsetting onto other prints, and I actually like the way it looks way better. And that doesn't mean you can never use solid 100% colors. It just means you want to be thoughtful about it. I would suggest breaking up really big, dense areas, using textures and halftones, letting some of the paper show through. A lot of really strong Risograph design is about restraint and understanding how inks actually behave in the real world. And a lot of times you'll get a better print if you use less ink and not more. One of my favorite things about Risograph printing is that a lot of the inks are transparent, which means that when 2 colors overlap, it creates a 3rd color. And this is where Risograph printing can feel really magical. And a 2-color print can feel much more rich and complex just because of how those 2 colors interact. And so when you're approaching color, instead of thinking I need more colors, so I'll need more drums, try thinking how can I create more colors from the ones that I already have. And even really simple shapes can look a lot more interesting when you overlap them intentionally. This is one of the easiest ways to make beginner work look a lot more sophisticated without making your file setup a lot more complicated. This tip can save you a lot of pain. Do not put important details too close to the edges. Because registration can shift, edge-sensitive designs can go wrong really fast. Also, you might get a little bit of weirdness near the edges where ink coverage might not be as consistent. Also, if your text is too close to the edge, it can feel suddenly really crooked and cramped. Sometimes beginners design too close to the trim because everything looks so precise on a screen. But risograph printing is a physical process. So give your artwork room to breathe. Wider margins, more space around text, and less dependence on perfect edge placement. As a general starting point, I would recommend that you give your artwork half an inch from the edge. This sounds very technical, but the beginner version is actually quite simple. Sometimes two color areas are supposed to touch. And because of slight misregistration, a tiny white gap can appear between those two layers. So that's where trapping helps. And trapping just means slightly overlapping one color into another so that if your layers shift a little bit, you don't get those accidental gaps. It's pretty much a safety buffer. And registration marks help you line up layers and see how things are drifting. You do not need to become a print technician overnight, but learning these two ideas early on will make your multicolor prints look a lot more clean and intentional. So if you've ever looked at a risograph print and wondered why is this little halo right here, misregistration is probably the answer, and then trapping is your solution. Text usually has a very clear job to do, and that is to be read. So although risograph printing can carry detail, teeny tiny text is very risky, especially if it depends on multiple color layers lining up perfectly. So if your print job needs text to be readable, maybe you're printing a zine, make sure to make your text a little bit bigger, keep your font simple, use one color for the text layer if possible, and do not bitmap your text. And in general, prioritize readability over cleverness and keep your text clean and crisp in your file setup. So when in doubt, go bolder, go more simple, and go more readable. Paper matters a lot more than beginners might expect. And that's because riso inks sit a little bit differently than standard digital printing ink, and it behaves better on uncoated absorbent papers. If your paper is a little too slick or glossy, the ink can dry really slowly on that paper and smudge much more easily. So for beginners, a safe starting point is uncoated matte paper, something with a little bit of tooth, not too slippery and not too thick. Because if paper is too thick, it can jam the machine. And this is the paper that I use when I'm printing. It's this one. So if you're gonna print, this really works well for me. Paper is one of those topics that sounds really boring until you print on the wrong paper and immediately understand why everyone talks about paper so much. This last tip is actually 3 tips. Always print test prints. Even if you feel confident, even if your files look right, even if you're in a rush, because once you start a run, you can lose a lot of paper really fast if something's off. Test prints let you check things like color density, placement, overlap, readability, and if the thing actually works in real life. Also, when you're printing, say 100 prints, I would suggest to break them up into batches. Try printing 5 runs of 20 prints each. That way, if something is off with your print, it's not gonna be off in all 100 prints. And then after printing, let your prints dry, especially if you're printing multiple color layers. I get it, you're really excited about your print, and so you grab it immediately, you stack it, you trim it, you photograph it, you post it, but if the ink isn't dry yet, it might mess up your whole batch. So print tests, print in small batches, and let it dry. A lot about risograph printing is making adjustments and being flexible in working with the printing process. The people who enjoy riso the most and create the coolest artwork are usually not the ones who are trying to force it to behave like a digital printer. They are the people who let riso be riso. And once you stop fighting the process, it gets so fun. If you are just getting started with risograph printing, tell me in the comments what feels most confusing right now. Is it the file setup, color separations, paper choice, registration, any of it? And if you want to learn more about how I prepare files for risograph printing, watch this video next. I show you exactly my process of how to separate color layers and how to prepare them in Photoshop. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.